Hey y'all, welcome to the Drunkard's Path. I'm Shelly, and my son Angelus and I run an online quilt shop. And if you go to www.drunkardspath.com, you're going to see all the wonderful things we have to offer. So to get started today, I'm going to start with the giveaways. And last video, I didn't say to leave a, I didn't show anything we're going to give away. I guess I kind of forgot. So we're going to give something away anyway. This week's giveaway for, I guess, the last video is the Fruit Cocktail Charm Pack. And the winner is Michelle Garraway 2214. So Michelle, if you could please get a hold of us at support@drunkardspath.com. We can get your mailing address, or if you're local, maybe you can come around and pick it up, or we'll drop it off, whatever. Just get a hold of us, please, and we'll get that information and get this out to you. This week's giveaway, we're going to try and keep the theme of Christmas in July going. We have 4 fat quarters. So just leave a comment, please, and like, subscribe, share the video if you feel so inclined, and yeah, leave something nice in the comment section, and we'll see who wins this little bundle in our next video. We had our big winner for the last go around, so now we're doing another one. We have, I think there are 12 fat quarters here. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't count them recently. But this is Layla Boutique's, the Christmas fabric that we have, and we're going to give this whole bundle of fat quarters by, I think it's October 31st. Yeah, that gives plenty of time. So anybody that has put in an order from the last giveaway, which I think started on, we start again July the 1st until the end of October, you'll have plenty of time to put anytime you make a purchase, your name goes into the draw, and you'll win this lovely bundle of fat quarters. Also, don't forget about our Christmas in July sale that's going to go on. We've decided to go to the end of the week, and it'll be good until August the 3rd, so that's a Saturday. So all the Christmas fabric is 30% off. So buy now, because it's going to go back up to its regular price, and we've got lots to choose from, and that includes any type of notion or anything that had any Christmas to it, any Christmas theme. It's all 30% off, so enjoy. I just want to add that if anybody out there is having any difficulties with our website, to please let us know, and maybe drop us a line at support@drunkardspath.com if you have any problems with getting things into your cart, with your checkout, with things not showing up. And not saying that's what's going on. I'm just saying if you do have that problem with it, Angelus will be more than happy to walk you through, or give us a call at this number here. And we'll do our best to get you through it. I know a lot of people say they don't really like to shop online or do shop online, so I want to make it as most pleasant experience as possible, and the least amount of effort to get you from point A to the actual checkout process. So thank you very much, and contact support@drunkardspath.com. New to the shop, what have we got? We have a few more Kona solids that came in. We have Kona, and this one is snow, so it's a little bit of an off-white, and that's good for a background. And finally, I've got the premium jet black in a 45-inch. Oh, I didn't mess up this time, so here is the jet black, premium jet black. And we have a jelly roll, but it's not technically a jelly roll because that belongs to Moda, but this is Kona Cotton Solids. It's called Sunset Color Story, and it's got all these really pretty, beautiful purples and blues and greens, and that's what it looked on the side. We have this really nice, it's called Little Witch 1 yard bundle. So each one of these is a 1 yard cut, and you've got your purples and blues, like more like a midnighty blue color. It's really nice Halloween fabric. So I really, really like this bundle right here. That's a nice one for, you can make a really good size quilt with all these 1 yard cut fabrics in it. And we have a few more charms, zipper pulls, like the little bling you can put on your project bags. So this one is the teacup, the little bluebird, and the strawberry. And we have a new pattern, a Lori Holt pattern. It's called Yes You Can. That's for a table runner. And I got another one, and what I did was I kitted this one up so you don't have to sit and think about what do I need or what kind of fabric should I buy to make this one with all the little jars, the little canning jars. So what I did was I pulled some Lori Holt fabrics. So there are 7 quarter yards in here. There's another quarter yard for the lids. I have the background fabric and the binding. So all of this in one nice, neat little kit. Very summery, very cute. So have a look on our website for that. Okay, I haven't had tons of time to do sewing because, well, you know what? It's summer and we're outside a little bit more. So I've been trying to get things done, but you know, sometimes things fall by the wayside. But, and plus my daughter went back to work, and now that I'm watching my granddaughter on a part-time basis, so I'm enjoying all my time with her and getting to get into a routine of some kind. But, you know, you just kind of manage your time a little bit better, and I'll have lots more to show in the next video. So this video, I've got to show you 2 more Socialites blocks, and I got number 22 done, and it's called Ohio Twist Block by Jessica Dayan, and this one was an experience block. Yeah, 22. So this is what my finished block looks like, and I didn't think it was too bad when I did it. So I'm sure there's a few tricks that you can do to manage this one. And number 23 is called Changeling Star Block by Andy Knowlton. And this was an intermediate. So this is my finished block. The only part I think that was a little bit tricky would be the square and a square. But even that, it wasn't too bad. This was an intermediate, so it wasn't too bad to do this one. So, and guess what? One more block for the Socialites, and then I can start putting it together. I don't think I'm going to use the finishing pattern that was supplied with it, because I have a lot of the fabric bundle left over. So I think I'm just going to use something a little bit different, because it's actually asking for me to get some other different fabric and cut it up. And I thought, no, there's way too much left over. So I'm going to incorporate all of that into this quilt and see what I can come up with. I did have a little bit of downtime, so I did decide to make a couple of project bags. And I love making these because of all the cross stitch I do. It just seems like you never have enough. Like you always seem to start another cross stitch project. They're just so, it's just, you see them and you just can't help but, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that one. I want to do that one. So, yeah, my projects are starting to grow a little bit, but that's okay. I don't mind. I like the variety. So this bag I made was from the Lori Holt that we had the panels in a few months back, and this is one of the larger size bags. So I cut this one out and I just quilted around this part here, and you can see here there is a little well, as a bit of a boo-boo on my part. I had cut into that part of the fabric, but I thought there's no way I'm going to waste this fabric. So all I did was I did like a satin stitch over top. I just held that fabric together, like just butted it up, and then just ran under the machine with a satin stitch. And does it jump out? Not really. Like I can live with that, and I'm fine with that. I'd rather have that little part mended down here than to just throw away the whole thing. So anyway, this is the inside where we have the what do you call it? The lining fabric, and then I serged so I don't have any raw edges. So I'm going to close that, and here's the back, and I just did a little bit of quilting along those lines. So super cute. I just love these ones. And I made another one which kind of falls under, well, the cross stitch and quilting kind of meet together. So I showed you this one was Hester's Easter jumper. I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. I didn't want to put that one in a frame. So last night I thought I'd get some fabric. I pulled some pink fabric and I put Hester into a bag with another, well, I got myself one of these strawberries and the zipper, and inside we just have some, again, the lining. So, and I just I love the back. I didn't quilt it or anything, but I just love that fabric. I just love those colors. I just think it looks so, like, it just kind of pops, you know, and it looks really cute. And I was showing my husband this morning. I said, oh, look at the bag I made. How nice is that? And then it just, like, I looked at it. It's something, sometimes you see a mistake and it just jumps right out at you. It's not really a mistake. It's something I have forgotten. I'm looking at the rabbit's face and I went, oh no, I forgot to put the little whiskers in, like to back stitch in the little whiskers. And every time I look at this bag now, I'm going to look at it and say, I forgot the whiskers. So I had to go pull the pattern to double check. So yeah, they were there and I just missed it. And there's just no way I can do it now because I can't hide the threads under there. But unless somebody has some idea, maybe you can leave it in the comments of how can I do that. Put in these little whiskers without seeing the thread ends, because I would love to be able to put it on. So hopefully somebody can come up with a fix for that. Okay, I have been working on a quilt that was in, I think the quilt book name had all the patterns in it. Was called Vintage Quilts or something to that effect. I didn't grab the book, so it is a Dresden Plate, and I had a fat quarter bundle with all these different oranges in it. So I have a tutorial at the end of this video, so I hope you stick around to see that. I'm going to show you step by step on how to make this particular block. It's not as hard as it looks, and I think if you watch it and you think, I think most people with a little bit of sewing experience will be able to handle this block no problem on the method that I show you. I don't do the applique part with a needle and thread, like a turn under. I actually use my machine, and I'm going to show you how you can do that without with too much trouble. So these are the blocks, and I think it's going to call for 13 of these altogether. So I'm just going to show you a couple of them. And you can see it's all appliqued down and appliqued around. It's all done by machine, and it was actually it was pretty easy. It was just, I think maybe it takes me about 2 hours to do one, which is not too bad. It's workable. So I'll show you one more. And these are all just, I just varied them up. And what I did, there are 2 in each one, so the fabric has its mate across from it, so you can just kind of keep it going like that, just for some symmetry, I guess. So anyway, have a look out for that one at the end of this video. I'll show you step by step. And kind of keeping with that theme, I pulled out a quilt that I had done a couple years ago, and I think this one's called Grandma's Flower Garden, and it's done with hexies. And again, I didn't do any hand sewing on this. I did everything by machine. So what I'm going to hold it up, and I'm going to show you that I had some purple fabric and the white. And what I did was to make the hexies, I used some freezer paper. So I cut out my rough shape. I had my freezer paper cut exactly to the hexie size, and then with the freezer paper, with the fabric, you iron it onto the freezer paper, and it just kind of holds it. There's enough adhesive on it that you do them all like that, and then you pull out your freezer paper very carefully because you have this thing all ironed, and it just stays. It stays nice. And I laid it all down, and then I went over it with a zigzag stitch all the way onto each one of these, like they were like white individual squares. And I just did the zigzag, and just it stayed just great. It went so much quicker than if you do with by hand, but to each their own on how they do their applique. I just prefer to do the machine method. And then, as you can see, the rows are staggered a little. So you have one that's up, one that's down just a little bit, just to make it interesting. And this is what this one looks like. And then in between the rows, I just use this decorative stitch that most of our machines today have all kinds of decorative stitching. So don't be afraid to play around with those and see what you can come up with to make your quilt a little more interesting. So that's just keeping with the theme of the applique. And just two more little things. I have started making a floss tube video, so there's not going to be a lot of cross stitch in this one. I'll just show a couple of things here and there. I'm just going to probably put out a floss tube about once a month with all the things I've been working on. I don't know if there a lot of people that is just interested in that on this video, but we'll see what the feedback says. And but I want to continue on making the floss tubes, just talking about like the projects I'm working on, what kind of fabric I'm using, what kind of floss, that kind of thing. So that way we can have an audience for that and an audience for the quilting. But this one I showed it on my first floss tube, is the Spooky and Sweet one that I made, the cross stitch with Fat Quarter Shop. And I just made this little basket, super cute, just something different to hold some trick-or-treats in here. And I just did another one of these little Ort jars with this looks like a little tiny quilt block. That was pulled from the Lori Holt stitch cards, and this was actually like an Americana look for that month, and I decided just to go with the purple, blue, and just some pink and whatever, and I thought it looked really cute just in those little mason jars. It was so simple to do, but again, it was a quick project, and you get that feeling of, yay, I accomplished something, I'm done. And now here's the tutorial on how to make this Dresden Plate block. This is how I do it anyway. So this is the quilt that I'm currently working on. It's from this book called Vintage Vibe, and I'm actually making the cover quilt. This is the block. You can see that we have appliqued it down on a piece of fabric. So I'm going to go step by step and show you how to make this so it doesn't look so intimidating, because it's not once you get the hang of it. I think you should probably be about, have some sewing skills to master this one. Of course, I use the Dresden Plate ruler. I cut out, here's all my cut out pieces. So all the different fabrics, I think I used 15 different fabrics, and I cut, you needed like 30 of each, and I use the fabrics twice. So this is what I've done so far. I've taken one of these Dresden Plate cutouts, and then I folded it, and I ironed each one with the right side together. So you can see I've got all my pieces ready to go. I'm going to sew, and I'm going to sew along the larger end, a 1/4 inch seam. So these ones I'm going to do on my featherweight, and then I'm going to do the applique on my other sewing machine. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to chain piece as I go. So I'm going to do each one of these, and I'm going to keep on going. So I'm going to grab, I'm going to face the raw edges are going to be faced towards me. So I'm just going to go down and grab my next one. And go, just keep on going till I think there's 20 of these Dresdens that I'm going to just keep going until they're all sewn together. Okay, now that I've sewn them all the pieces, 1/4 inch away, I've now just clipped off that little end there, not into the seam, but just clip it off to reduce the bulk. So when I turn it like this, just with my finger to make the point on the Dresden, and I'm going to use my little point turner and just really gently make it pointy. Okay, I'm going to do that to each and every one of them, and then I've got a nice center line here. So I'm going to match that center line from here where I sewed to that center line on the fold, and I'm going to go to my iron, and I'm going to press each one down. So once I turn them all and iron them, I'll have them laid out on my design board and we'll go to the next step. Now I have all my pieces arranged and how I want to sew them. And what I did was I had a piece of fabric and directly opposite is the matching piece. So here, 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 you can see that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take two of them and sew them together, and I'm going to just grab these two and I'm going to match the bottom end up. That seems to work best for me. That way I get a nice circle when I'm done. So I'm going to match those two up and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch down this side. So let's do it, and I'm going to do 2 at a time. I'm going to go 2 and then do 2, 2, 2 all the way around, because that's the best way to keep it from going all wonky. It just works out a lot better. So I'll show you how to do this one. So we're just going to sew 1/4 inch. Okay, stop. Snip my threads. Okay, I'm going to chain piece as I go though. I'm just going to show you this one. And what I do is I just finger press that over to that side. Okay, and then once I do, and then I can put it back. So actually, I'm sorry, I said I was going to chain piece. I'm not going to chain piece. I'm just going to do 2 at a time because I'm going to put them back so I don't lose the order. So I'm going to continue on and then I will show you the next step. So now after I've sewn the pairs together and I put it back the same order so you can see that each one is opposite the other, I just pressed it on the iron and I made sure that the seams are all going the same way. So each one of them, they're all going the same way. So now I'm going to go 2 and 2. So 2 and 2 together all the way around, and then I'm going to sew 4, 4, and whatever's left over, and then I'm going to just do it till I get the full circle done, and we'll go to that next step. But just if you do it like this, you'll have a lot better luck probably to have a nice circle and everything is just laying the way it should. So, okay, now that I've got it all sewn together, see the back, everything's going the same way, all the seams are going that way, and we have a pretty good circle in the middle. So when you do it that way, it doesn't go wonky. If you go 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 4, and then sew it all together. So that turned out pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to center this. So to center it, which a nice easy way is that I'm taking my piece, which is going to end up being 12.5, but it is cut at 13-inch square. It's just easier to cut down later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to just press and nice and even, and we're going to press. So we got our middle. Turn it. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to go press, finger press that down to make a little crease, and over here, same thing. Okay, open it up. So now we can see those creases. So we're going to take our Dresdens and we're going to line up where the crease is, and you can see that one lines and that one line. So it's all pretty good. So what I do is I just take a small ruler and just to see. So that is just under an inch. So I'm just going to bring that down just a little tiny bit. And we'll see the sides. The side is just a little bit under an inch. And so is that, just about an inch. So that's pretty much centered. So we're just going to set that guy aside for and try not to move it because we have him centered. Now we're going to take, this is going to be our middle piece. Okay, so what I did was I took my fabric, my middle piece fabric, and I used this Wonder Fuse. This is for applique. So this comes in real handy. I like this because I machine applique. I do not do turn under and I don't hand sew it, but that's just me, and this is the method I use. So I got these templates, these nice circle templates. They are creative grids, and I got a bunch of different sizes. This one happens to be 5.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on there so you have it's iron to the back, and we're going to put this on here, somewhat centered, and I have a small, I think this one, 28 millimeter rotary cutter. These are a lot easier to use with curves. If you're good with the bigger one, the 45 millimeter, then great for you, but I am not that good. So I like to use a smaller one when I do this part of it. So I just hold it down and we start cutting slowly around. And then I just rotate my smaller board and we continue nice and slow. We don't want to move our template. And hopefully one more time. There, I think I've got it. There we go. So here we have nice perfect circle. So we're gonna move this piece back here. Nice, carefully. We didn't move anything. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna peel off the back. There, and this is the sticky part. So I actually just like to fold it and just give a little crease and a little crease. And I just match it up, kind of eyeball it and into the center. And I kind of just peek under to see, am I the same all the way around? So you can kind of feel it, but with that crease in the center, I think it's pretty much centered. So I'm just gonna take this over to my iron and I'm gonna put that down. Okay, so now that center piece, that's down there because that glue is gonna hold it in place. So what I do is I take the pins and I just pin just like this across every other Dresden just to hold it down for when I go do the applique. So we just spin it. This just anchors it a little bit more so it doesn't shift, because you don't want it to shift when you're doing the applique. And how I do the applique is I use a blanket stitch. And I think most machines do have that stitch, unless you've got like a, just one that goes straight up and down like a Juki or something. But most of them have a little blanket stitch. And one more. So I'm going to go over to my other machine and I'm going to blanket stitch all the way around. And I'm going to show you that and how you do that. Okay, so now I have my machine set up to go with my blanket stitch. And my thread color, I like to match as close as I can to the piece I'm working on. The top thread anyway. The bottom thread I usually just use the same neutral. Let me see. So, put the needle down and try to keep your needle just to the right of the fabric. Okay? To the raw edge. And if you go over a little bit, well, it happens. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to just go... And we're just going to let the machine do the work for us. So keep your eye on the needle. Let the feed dogs pull it along. Now you can just shift a little and get it. And away we go. I just like to take my time. All the way around. To me, this is way better than hand turning it, and hand stitching it down. But this is just my preference. And the sticky stuff on the back of it, that fusible, it holds it in place fairly well. Really have your left hand loose on the piece so you can just let the machine pull it along. Okay, just give your eyes a little adjustment. I'm going to snip that first thread off. Okay. Keep going. Now I do them as I go, as I make them. Because I can't imagine doing this, like this one calls for 13 of these blocks. I would not do 13 in a row because I think my eyes would go absolutely buggy after that. Okay, so we've got the circle down. That wasn't so bad. It's done. It's done in like 2 minutes, right? Okay, so now I'm going to do the outside part. So I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to start in the middle of one of these points, not on the end or here. This is, again, how it works best for me. So I'm going to just lower it, and I'm going to do my best to keep that needle on the right side of the fabric and not try to go over here. So I'm just going to do, I'm going to go along. Wait a minute, there's a pin in the way, so I'm going to get that pin out of here. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Okay, so. Okay, now this is where I'm going to pivot. And I'm just going to follow along to get to the point, and I'm going to just go a little bit. You got to get a sense of your machine, how it works, and to keep that needle always on the right side of the fabric. So I'm just going to do each point, pivot, take my pin out as I go. Okay, and I'm going to go all the way around, and I'll show you the finished piece. And here we have the finished block. You can see I went all the way around with the blanket stitch. I took my time, and you can see that I've kept that needle on the outside, and it looks pretty good to me. I'm going to show you the back. That's what it looks like. And the front. So give that old Dresden Plate ruler a brush off. Try it out yourself and see what you can come up with. So I hope you enjoyed our tutorial. I want to thank everybody for who have subscribed to our channel. We're on our way to 500 now. We're really excited about that. We have a good community going, and we're very, very appreciative. And again, thank you so much, and keep sewing, keep stitching.